Hi, my name is Anne-Marie, and I am the development director at empowerHER. And I'm so excited to share with you a little bit about a personal story that's very near and dear to me. So, a little bit of background about myself. I lost my mom when I was 10 years old to a brain tumor. And my mom was loving and caring and truly was just such a selfless human being. And when we lost my mom, I was 10, my brother was 14. And I had a really supportive dad and a supportive family, and we were left devastated. We, just really put one foot in front of the other. We did the best that we could, but it was difficult. And during that time, I had never met another girl whose mom had passed away.
I was especially concerned about my daughter, Anne-Marie. She and her mom were so close. They were inseparable. They were the best of friends. Between cheerleading and dance and soccer and face painting and all the million other things that they did, they had a special relationship. And I just didn't know if my daughter would be able to handle the loss.
So a really special story is that when I was in high school, I met a family. I got a phone call from a woman named Brittan, and Brittan said that she needed a babysitter. And at that time, I was kind of the town babysitter anyway. And so I went over to Brittan's house, and she introduced me to little baby Molly. And Molly must have just been maybe 7 or 8 months old. And I held Molly, and it was one of the first times I think I'd ever held a baby. And Brittan and Mike just said, "Here you go," and they left the house, and here I was with this tiny little baby. I'm like, oh my God, I'm in high school. I'm glad that Brittan trusts me, but I was definitely a little bit nervous at that time. So what started out as just that first time babysitting grew into a relationship, and next thing I know, I'm at Brittan's house multiple times a week, and Brittan and Mike and Molly really became like family. They lived right around the corner from me, and I always look forward to babysitting Molly. And as the years went on, I went to college and my babysitting days fizzled out, but my relationship with Molly never stopped. I always came back over holiday breaks and spring breaks so that I could watch Molly, and Brittan just always took such good care of me. And Mike and Brittan would come home from going out, and I would stay hours after just hanging out with Brittan. So it really turned into this beautiful friendship. I'll never forget when I graduated high school. For my high school graduation, Brittan gave me 2 Red Sox tickets. They were front row Red Sox tickets. And at that time I said, okay, who am I gonna bring? And I almost brought a boyfriend. And I said, maybe I'll bring my dad. And Brittan said, why don't you bring your dad? And so I brought my dad, and I'm so glad that I did.
There was one thing that kept me going, and that was my children. I had to be strong for the kids.
I love to share that story with Molly, just because Brittan was so near and dear to so many of us. So as the years went on, and as I continued watching Molly grow up into this amazing and beautiful little girl, I got a nightmare message, the message that nobody wants to receive. And Mike had messaged me that Brittan was sick and it wasn't looking good, and she went downhill really quickly, and it didn't look like she was going to make it. So at that time, I had already been fully involved at empowerHER. My own mom had passed away, and it was really crazy to think that, wow, this family is going through something that my dad and my brother and I know so well. And I said to Brittan that I'm always going to look out for Molly, and Mike and Brittan had also just had Maddie, who wasn't even 1 year old at that time. So I told Brittan to rest assured that we're here for Molly, we're here for Maddie, and that it's gonna be okay. And so when Brittan passed away, it was devastating for everyone. It's just unbelievable to have to watch this little girl that you care about so much go through something and go through this pain. And Molly was just 7 years old, and Maddie wasn't even 1. So it was, in a way, very frustrating to see that, oh my God, this is still happening. But the difference is that this is still happening, and when it happened to my family and I, there was nothing for us at that time. And now, at least for Molly and Maddie, they are going to meet other girls like them. They are going to know that they're not alone in their grief. They are going to be reminded that there's a beautiful life ahead of them at their fingertips. They're not going to spend Mother's Day alone, and they're going to meet hundreds, if not thousands, of other young girls that are just like them, other young girls who have experienced this loss, who know what it's like to go through this loss, and know that they're never alone. Molly became my mentee very quickly after we lost Brittan. And it's just so unbelievable to get to officially have Molly as my mentee, and we participate in empowerHER's programs, and our relationship and our bond is just more special than ever. And Molly is just an unbelievable little girl. She's 11 years old now. She plays on an all-boys hockey team. She emulates so much of Brittan, and I feel really grateful. I get to see so much of Brittan in Molly, and I know that Maddie is on her way as well. And so not only is Molly in empowerHER, but she has gone so above and beyond. She ran our Falmouth Road race, and she was one of the top fundraisers in the Falmouth Road race. It's so heartwarming to get to see Molly shine bright. And I just love that her and I have this special relationship. I'm so happy that she has empowerHER. I'm so happy that Maddie will have empowerHER. And both of our families just share such this unique circumstance, especially when I already had such a close relationship with this family to begin. So I'm just so grateful for Mike, and I'm so proud of Molly and Maddie, and I know that they're gonna do amazing things, and I can't wait to watch it.